Hi guys, Miss Erin up here in the Nature Lab. And do you guys remember when we made some delicious tea from some things growing in the garden? I do. I had a lot of fun making some tea with you. We harvested, that means we picked when it was ready, the yummy mint. Some of you might have picked chamomile with me, some stevia from the stevia plant that made it nice and sweet. And I figured it's a cooler day today. It's a perfect day to make some hot tea with some of the things we have growing in the garden. Now, when you make tea, it's very important that you know the plant that you are trying to use. You have to make sure that you are absolutely certain of the plant that you're using to make tea and that it is a good plant to use in tea and is very safe to drink in tea. So some plants that I really like to use in tea are calendula, chamomile, mint, echinacea, nettle. There's so many different types of plants you can look up and see, and you might have some growing in your garden or your neighborhood, but you have to make sure that it's that plant that you are trying to use and that you ID or identify it correctly. And there are apps you can use on your phone or computer to check. There are books, plant guides to check. You can Google it. You can ask an expert. And just make sure you know exactly what that plant is before you use it. Also, another important thing is that you know it hasn't been sprayed by pesticides or chemicals that might make you sick or may not make you feel good. Wouldn't be very good for you if it had been sprayed with pesticides and you want to use it for tea. If you're out harvesting out and about, maybe out on a walk, just make sure it's not a plant that's very close to the road either. That can be a little dirty from having cars drive nearby too. So make sure you know the plant, that you know it hasn't been sprayed, and you're not picking a plant that's really close to a road. So I've got some of my supplies here with me. I knew I would need a mug for my tea to drink it. I knew I would need some hot water, so I have some hot water boiling in the electric kettle here in the Nature Lab. And so that will help steep my tea or get the yumminess out of those leaves when I'm ready to make my tea. I also have something to hold my leaves. You can have something like this. You can see it's kind of, it's almost like mesh that the yumminess can go through, but the leaves won't be in my tea when I'm ready to drink it. I also have a small one that works the same way, but it just kind of closes up together to hold the leaves there. You can also just put your leaves in hot water and use a strainer when it's all done steeping. I brought a lemon. I didn't have any stevia growing to make it sweet, and I forgot to bring some honey. I like honey in my tea too, but I've got a lemon, and this would, of course, you would need a grown-up to help you because it's a sharp knife, but I'm going to cut a wedge to add a little lemon to my tea when I'm ready. And now it looks like I'm ready to go harvest, so I'm going to go do that, and then we'll get back to making some tea. All right, so I'm out in the Glen garden and I found some mint that I would like to use. And I am certain this is mint because I see it's labeled mint. I know the plant mint very well and I can tell by its leaves that it's mint. I can smell that it's mint. And also, I planted some of these, so I definitely know it's mint. So I'm going to harvest the freshest, greenest leaves. It's not the best to harvest on a rainy day, but it's okay. I'm going to make sure I rinse them, check for bugs, rinse them real well, and then I can use them and make them for some yummy tea. Yummy mint. All right, now that I've harvested my lovely mint, so I got these nice, fresh, green mint leaves. I rinse them off real well and check for bugs. I'm going to put them in here. Got some other ones too. I also grabbed a few calendula petals and rinsed those off too and checked for bugs. Then I put them in my cup. See how it kind of just sits nicely in my cup there? And now I can pour some hot water over it. This is another grown-up task that a grown-up will help you. Pour the hot water over it. I see steam. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's going to be so good. Now, since I see steam, I know it's probably too hot for me to drink right now. And also it needs to steep. So all those leaves in here need to sit and soak in the hot water for about 10 to 15 minutes. It takes longer when you're using usually the fresh stuff here. So I'm going to wait, come back, and enjoy my lovely tea. Now I could also, if I wanted to make tea with the plants growing in the garden, I could dry or dehydrate it and save it for another day. Keep them in a jar after they're really well dried, and I could have it for a long time. But it's kind of fun just to make tea right from the fresh stuff that you pick in the garden. All right, I'm going to let that steep, and then we'll enjoy it. All right, so I let my tea steep. I actually only let it steep or sit in the hot water for a few minutes because it was smelling pretty strong. I had a lot of mint leaves in there, but it smells delicious, and it's a little bit green. You can see it changed color. I'm going to squeeze my lemon into it. Ooh, add a little citrusy sweetness. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then I'm ready to drink some. Cheers, guys. Oh, it's delicious. I hope you guys get a chance to make your own tea soon and enjoy it just like I have. Have a great day.